Yo, what's good, ThriveBit fam? Welcome to ThriveBit by Andy, your go-to YouTube podcast for business hacks, personal growth, and the motivation you need to crush it. I'm Andy, and you're not just watching a video, you're investing in your future. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and let's get you leveled up. Today we're diving into something that'll give you a legit edge over 90% of people out there. This isn't some fluffy self-help talk. It's a wake-up call. Your brain, that supercomputer in your skull, is probably working against you. Not because you're lazy, but because you're caught in a mental trap called cognitive bias. These sneaky shortcuts control what you buy, who you trust, and how you decide. Most people live their entire lives on autopilot, reacting instead of thinking. Ever argued with someone who just wouldn't listen? That's bias at work, confirmation bias, where they only hear what fits their beliefs. But here's the truth. You're doing it too. Your brain's wired for survival, not truth, using over 188 known biases to cut corners. Let's make it real. You hear about a plane crash on the news, and suddenly flying feels like a death sentence. That's the availability heuristic. Your brain thinks something's likely just because it's memorable. But statistically, you're more likely to die slipping in the shower. Do you panic in the bathroom? Didn't think so. That's how biases trick you. They feel like truth, but they're not. Your brain's lazy, avoiding deep thinking to save energy. If you don't learn to spot these traps, you'll stay stuck, making decisions that feel right, but are dead wrong. Ready to break free? Let's talk tools. The game changer. Second-order thinking. So, how do you outsmart these mental traps and start thinking like the top 10%? I'm handing you one habit that's a total game changer: second-order thinking. This is the secret weapon of elite thinkers, entrepreneurs, strategists, and anyone who's crushing it in life. Most people are stuck on first-order thinking, only considering the immediate outcome of their choices. Take something simple. I'll skip the gym today. I'm wiped out. Sounds harmless, right? But second-order thinking pushes you to look beyond the now. You ask, if I skip today, what's next? Maybe I skip tomorrow because it feels easier. Then it's a week, then 2 weeks. Suddenly, I'm out of shape, my energy's tanked, and I'm beating myself up for losing momentum. You're not just thinking about the action, you're playing the tape forward, mapping out the ripple effects. Let's break it down with a business example. Say you're running a startup, and you're about to hire someone who looks perfect on paper. First-order thinking goes, they've got the skills, let's bring them on. But second-order thinking digs deeper. What if their personality doesn't gel with the team? What if they're great now but can't adapt when we pivot in 6 months? How will that impact team morale, productivity, or even our bottom line down the road? This isn't about overcomplicating things. It's about making decisions that don't just solve today's problems, but set you up for long-term success. Now, let's be real. This kind of thinking is tough. Your brain is wired to conserve energy, which is why it defaults to quick, gut-based decisions. That's why people spend hours scrolling social media instead of tackling a tough problem. Deep thinking is like lifting heavy weights. It's exhausting at first. But here's the deal. Just like your muscles grow stronger with every rep, your brain gets sharper with every second-order thought. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Try applying it to something small like your daily routine. Say you're tempted to binge a new Netflix series tonight. First-order thinking. It's just one night, I deserve to chill. Second-order thinking. If I stay up late, I'll be groggy for my morning meeting. That could make me less sharp and I might miss a chance to impress a client. Plus, I'll probably skip my morning workout, which messes with my energy for the whole day. See how that shifts your perspective? You're not just reacting, you're strategizing. This habit isn't just for big decisions either. It's a mindset. Imagine using it when choosing your next side hustle. First order, this gig pays quick cash. Second order, but will it teach me skills for my long-term goals? Will it drain my time and leave me too burned out to focus on my main hustle? That's how you make choices that compound into massive wins over time. Start practicing this today, and you'll be shocked at how quickly you start seeing the world differently, clearer, sharper, and steps ahead of everyone else. Leveling up. Question your own beliefs. Ready to take your thinking to the next level? Here's where it gets really powerful. Start questioning your own beliefs. Before any big decision, hit pause and ask, what's the opposite of what I believe right now? Then, here's the tough part. Force yourself to argue against your own position. Let's say you're dead set on launching your product this week. Your brain's screaming, it's ready, let's go. But pause. Ask, what if waiting a month is smarter? What if the market isn't primed yet? What if I need more feedback to avoid a flop? It feels unnatural, almost like betraying yourself. But that's the point. You're breaking free from your mental echo chamber, where your biases keep you cozy but blind. This practice is like a mental stress test. It forces you to confront your assumptions and see if they hold up. Let's use a real-world example. Money. You see everyone on Instagram flexing the latest gadget, and your brain's like, I need that, it'll make me happy. That's the bandwagon effect. A bias that pushes you to want something just because others do. But hit pause. Ask, do I actually need this? If I drop $500 on this, that's $500 I can't invest in my side hustle. That could delay my growth by a month or mean I miss a chance to scale. Suddenly, that shiny toy doesn't look so essential. Another bias to watch? The sunk cost fallacy. This is when you keep pouring time, money, or energy into something just because you've already invested so much. Ever stayed in a toxic job or relationship too long because you thought, I've put in so much already? That's your brain tricking you. Use second-order thinking to cut through it. Ask, if I were starting from scratch today, would I choose this? If the answer's no, it's time to walk away. Let me tell you about my buddy Jake, who nailed this. He started an e-commerce business and was ready to launch his first ad campaign. Everyone told him, copy the big brands, go all in with flashy ads and big promises. But Jake paused. He asked, what's the opposite? What if flashy ads attract one-time buyers who don't stick around? What if I focus on trust instead? He went small, targeted ads, authentic vibes, real customer testimonials. 6 months later, his retention rate was insane, while his competitors were bleeding cash on ads that didn't convert. That's what happens when you question your instincts and think deeper. You can apply this to anything. Say you're picking a new skill to learn, like coding. Your gut says, learn Python. It's hot right now. Pause. Argue the opposite. What if I learn something niche, like data visualization, that sets me apart? What if Python's oversaturated in a year? Or maybe you're debating a big move, like relocating for a job. Your heart says, it's a fresh start. But ask, what if I'm leaving a network that's harder to rebuild? What if the job's not as stable as it seems? This isn't about doubting yourself. It's about testing your ideas to make them bulletproof. Start small to build this habit. Next time you're about to make a snap decision, like what to eat for dinner, pause. Say you're craving pizza. Ask, what's the opposite? What if I cook something healthy? How will that affect my energy tomorrow? It's a tiny choice, but every time you practice, you're rewiring your brain to think clearer, sharper, and more strategically. Over time, this becomes your superpower, setting you apart in a world where most people just react. Why this matters and your challenge. Why does this matter for you Gen Z and Millennials hustling out there? The world's noisier than ever. Social media, ads, influencers, they're all designed to hijack your biases. They want you to react, not think. But if you pause, question, and think deeper, You'll spot opportunities others miss. You'll make choices that align with your goals, not someone else's. Most people, 90%, are stuck in their mental echo chambers, scrolling, consuming, reacting. But you're different. You're here, investing in yourself. So here's my challenge. Don't just scroll after this. Take 5 minutes. Pick one decision, a business move, a personal goal. Apply second-order thinking. Ask, what's the long-term ripple effect? Write it down. Act on it. That's how you turn knowledge into power. If you found this valuable, smash that like button, share this with your crew, and subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a comment below. Tell me one bias you've noticed or a decision you're rethinking. I read every single one, and I'm stoked to see how you're leveling up. Until next time, keep thinking deeper, keep hustling smarter, and let's thrive together. Peace.